Alright, so I'm gonna start everything back up again. So now we're going to do the Leaving a Legacy quest. We're gonna run the back way here. Just avoiding, or not avoiding, but not fighting anything along the way, just running. And the Corsair are a bit annoying because they have the trap skill, but I try to do my best to avoid it when possible. Like I said, you can completely ignore Dunkoro. We're not even going that way. We're running straight to where the Scree spawn and where the diggers are. So this area is where all the Scree will spawn. There's 5 groups total, and as you see, I'm 40 points away. I run to get a Scree bounty shrine up here. But the trouble I'm having is all the Scree that spawn out here don't always give a point. And that's where the randomness comes in as to how many points I need. And I've been trying to figure it out and can't. But anyways, what we're gonna do is flag the henchmen, the party, right outside the first spawn of Scree, which is going to be right here, basically. So they can start attacking it on spawn. This NPC up here, that's who we have to talk to. He doesn't have a quest trigger on him, but if you talk to him, you can initiate the spawns. So I'm lucky I found that out. So, like I said, I'm going to go over here, pick up the Scree bonus. I pick it up first before triggering the spawn so I don't lose any points. And as you see, as soon as I talk to him, the spawns begin. So they'll fight that for a bit. After they've killed, basically everything, I'll flag them down so they start attacking the other group. I'll use my imp here just to kill the leftovers, damage them a little bit. But then I'll just keep running ahead. It might not be a smart idea because you can get crippled actually, but it's just what I did here. Then I'm going to flag them up to this third group, and as you see, there's 5 Scree in each group. Okay, there's 4 in this one. Anyways, I grabbed these 2 and pulled them into the henchman party so they get aggro of them and continue fighting. I am grabbing those other 2 right now. And I'll make sure these pull in. So basically, since you have a stacked party of level 12 henchmen against all these, you can pull all those groups into them and then just leave and run to the Jockener diggings. So with all the Scree that spawn, you should get roughly 25 points, but you sometimes get closer to 20. But it's random. Like I said, like sometimes one of the group won't give you a point. So that's why I usually try to go more than 242 and try to get more like 245. But you're perfectly safe as long as you're a bit over 240. So while they're killing that, the quest triggered as you see, but while they were killing it, I started running. Now, you want to avoid the Iboga spawns there because they have imagined burden or whatever. I thought about flagging them on the map to the enemies while I'm running. I think this is a valid idea and it could definitely save time because the quest only needs to complete like by right now, basically. So I could use the mini map to flag them, and that's something to look into. But for now, I just do it the way I did. As you see, I map again to try to get closer because I don't know the mappings for this yet. I tried again, and it's basically I just map one time once you enter here. So what we're gonna do here is go turn the quest in. I think we get, what, 20 points? Yeah, we get 20 points. So as you see, I'm 4 over. But that was not that big of a deal. I map here to turn in both quests for the attributes, and I get the rebirth signet. I think this is really worth it because it's like 4,000 experience and 30 attribute points. So I think it's very valuable. However, it might be worth holding off on that until later. I'm not sure because you do have to come back here again. But anyways, for now at this point, since we've gotten first spear, we now have to run to the other town, which I forget the name. Australium or whatever. But you just basically run straight there. Alright, now that we arrived here, once again I'm going to remap to try to get closer. This one doesn't really have good remapping options other than that one time. I'm going to add Dunkoro for this, the Domination Henchman and the Holy Henchman. Just for the AoE, the Dom Henchman has Empathy, which is very valuable. And I'm going to go ahead and set up Dunkoro for this. Basically, I give him just Sprint and Res Signet. This is for later, not for this specifically. But since I just had him out, I went ahead and felt like setting it up. And for this, I'm going to flag the party around the corner of this tree. So the warriors and everything kind of pull into it. Sometimes it goes smooth, sometimes it doesn't. I think this one went really fast though. So I'm going to grab everything, kind of pull it in, and I'm going to pop my amp. And basically you just try to find something that's balled up and go on it, as that's what Durf's good at. Nothing really balled up this time, and I saw the monk was actually getting a little low, so I just tried to get us to finish the monk off first. And it ended up going quite well doing that. The Mesmer really shines here with the Empathy. I was quite pleased with how fast this one goes. Normally it doesn't actually go this fast. Alright, then we're going to map back and turn the quest in. I rezoned again just to see. I think that was a little closer actually. Yeah. It could be worth. But this isn't as big of a time save as in like Kamadan or something. Alright, so now the annoying part. So I'm going to drop, you have to have Cost with you. Dunkor is better because I can micromanage him. So I just add the Monk, Henchman, and Dunkoro. So I'm going to put move speed skills on my Henchman. I'm going to put Healing Breeze, Reses, and Remove Hex. The reason for Remove Hex is any Aboga we encounter will have Imaginary Burden and other hexes, and I just want to spam remove those as much as possible. The sprint skill is kind of self-explanatory. So I'm just setting these up here. I need to make templates for them so I can just instant load them. But because I haven't actually done this in full, like sat down and worked on this, I haven't been able to really do it yet. Then, as you see, this is why I set up Dunkoro before. Set them both to flee. Disable the important skills that I want to micro myself, and we're off. You'll always encounter this first group of insects here, but they're not really a threat whatsoever. You just run through them. If you're extremely unlucky, they might get stuck on them and you might lose like a few seconds having to unstick them. But normally I just split up a little bit and they're fine. With the move speed, the enemies break really easily. So these group of Iboga on the left here, I'd say 50% of the time, if not more, will spawn right in the middle of this walkway here, which is really unfortunate, and it's annoying to deal with. You'll usually lose a henchman or a hero as well. But I got lucky here. This was what considered a good spawn. I think the henchman actually, yeah, the henchman, I didn't manage it quite well, and the henchman got aggro, so I lost them. But it's fine. You'll almost always encounter this Aboga as well on the left. But normally that's it. And as you see, I just spam the hex removal when it's important. Make sure to dodge everything else. You shouldn't encounter anything else for now. I about died, so I had to make sure I didn't die there. And just watching to see if any of them get imagined burden. So if all of your group dies, when you trigger this cutscene, Koss always revives right there. So you won't be completely out of luck if everything dies, which is nice. You can definitely manage to get through with just Koss. As you see, I had both of them, and the Aboga spawn right here on the right was a good spawn. Normally it's, again, also in the way, because you have to run forwards here. But it spawned nicely as well, so I was really happy. 2 good spawns. You have to wait for Milani, the NPC behind you, to catch up to trigger the next quest at the gate up here, or the wall. So there's no point in like rushing too much at this point. You just want to play it safe. So I made sure everyone was healthy, and these storm seeds can really hurt you. They can kill you if you don't have any heroes with you very easily. So I had them with me, so it was nice. This would definitely be kind of a rough spot if you died. But as you see, the wall right here, I have to wait for Milani to get in range. But as soon as she does, you can trigger it. I was probably zoned out or something, not clicking. And there we are at Jockner. Turning this quest in gets us Milani and activates the mission to be able to be started. This is the part where I'm now figuring out like what builds to run, what weapons to get, what armor to get. So the reason that well, let's see what I do here first. Hold on. Yeah, I take the domination henchman, Dunkoro, and Milani is what I do. There was an idea of grinding to level 10 and getting mocks. I just don't know if that's worth it, because I don't know if you'd really save that much time to make it worth it for the grind. So that's kind of off the table right now. Here's the build that I'm giving Milani. Basically, they're all getting hex removal and a move speed of some form, because we're going to be running past stuff. I gave her a heal as well, and it's just some simple AoE damage. Dunkoro basically is running the same thing, so we can run together. My build, on the other hand, does change a bit whenever I get to it, as I'm deciding. Yeah, so what I do is I bring Rebirth Signet, I bring both Signets, actually, and I bring the Crippling Sweep skill. Crippling Sweep is for the first ghost that has the tablet that runs infinitely until you kill it, which is very annoying. But with Crippling Sweep, you can basically permanently cripple it, which is amazing. And it gives you plenty of time to kill it when needed, and it basically changed my life once I found out that I could use that skill. So I'm going to buy Hammer Bash here. The reason I'm buying Hammer Bash is because this is also the reason I kept the hammer at the start. You can bug out monoliths, which is the Apocrypha at the end of Jogner Diggings. When they change form, if you KD them fast enough when they change form, they'll be locked in their transformation phase and do nothing, basically. I have not yet gotten it. I think you need to do it like basically immediately when they change form. And I haven't figured out enough to be able to do it fast enough yet. You'll see it during the mission. But so next up is buying weapons and armor. Once we get all this sorted, I salvage what I can. You need 3 iron to get the next scythe upgrade. I got very lucky with a really good scythe drop from the plants. I think it's like 611 no requirement or something. But as you see, I didn't get enough iron, which makes me sad. And I was debating salvaging my scythe for it. But yeah, I was like, no, I'll just keep the scythe. The scythe I have's fine as is. I'll be getting better ones later. Yeah, 611 no requirement, which is really good. Not as good as if I crafted the weapon here with the 3 iron, but I didn't get enough. No biggie. Just clean up my inventory a bit. I'm obviously not really rushing here. The armor you get here is either I think it's all tanned hide actually. If you get any cloth, you want to keep it because there's armor upgrades you can get later. But yeah, I bought. Only need 2 things of tan hides. I get +1 scythe mastery, and go ahead and buy the armor upgrades here because it's pretty big upgrade. There's 30 armor extra you get, so it's pretty amazing. I actually don't think I upgrade the rest of this run as is right now. Yeah, I'm just double checking everything, making sure we're all good to go. Oh yeah, also noted for my build I bring a movement speed skill for myself as well because we're going to be running. Get the attributes all set up right. So I spent, what, 5 minutes now organizing things, so obviously there's a lot of time to be saved, but, you know, just practicing right now. As soon as the mission starts, you can get a good spawn and a bad spawn of this group right here. I got a bad one. It's an Iboga, so you can get Hex, so be ready to start removing hexes. I got double Hex, so I had to use both hexes on myself. This group up here can also be really close. Like, it gets really bad if you have an Iboga in the first group and this group on the left. It has an Iboga that's in range of you. It gets a little nasty, but most of the time you'll be okay. Now, I look ahead right here on the left. If there's an Iboga in this group, and there's an Iboga in the next group as well, which there is, I kill this first one to alleviate some of the pressure. You could technically just wing it and try to run through both, but your whole party's pretty low level, and it doesn't take too long to kill the things here. I don't think you really lose time from the grossness you'd have to deal with, because normally you're going to get an Iboga here and there's an Iboga around the corner up here. So this person got double Hex. I'm going to try to remove them and keep going. We do get incoming from Cormier, which is nice. This specific moment is why I bring Rebirth Signet. In case someone dies in the back, I can teleport them to myself. So once you get through this area here, you want to really try to make sure you break this group here on the corner, because I found out this ghost here, if he's in fighting range or if he's aggroed onto something, the gate will not open. So you really want to try hard to make sure you sorry, I yawned. Make sure you break this group, otherwise you're just gonna have to fight it, which effectively loses you time. See, the gate opens immediately when it dies. So this is the part why I brought crippling. Send everyone through. I just noticed I messed up flagging. Use sprint and try to get to him ASAP. cripple him right away, and then just ping spam him. You want your party to kill this as much as possible. I mean, as fast as possible. I use cripple on cooldown. I even swapped to my hammer to KD him on the healing signet, which was kind of a little excessive, but these things do a lot of damage. I could pop my amp here, but I don't think popping the amp here is worth it. I think it's worth it to save it. My party just was having a rough time focusing stuff, and I wasn't exactly sure what to do. I think if you're being really like time savvy, you would just try to skip all this and keep running, but they deal a lot of damage. You do have the move skills, which I didn't really use much to help break aggro. I was scared of the thing falling, so I waited. But once it's open, run. You're definitely going to want to wait for your heroes and henchmen for the first flame thing to go by. Otherwise, they're almost always going to get hit at least once by it. If they get hit once by it, it's really bad. Use your move speed skills to make sure you break as many groups as possible. And make sure you do not turn this stone in. Just drop it down here, because turning the stones in makes the ghosts run back. I pop a healing breeze on myself and flag the party here. The healing breeze is just to help alleviate some of the pressure that I'm going to get while I'm running here. Make sure you don't hit any of these. If Cormier hits him, she's fine. She's level 20. She can tank it enough. You should be worried about, basically just yourself here. You can pop Vital Boon if you get low, but you should be fine, because that healing breeze really tops you off, plus incoming. Once you get both stones, just go ahead and put both stones in and then continue forward. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. I spilt my drink. All good though. So with this guy, he's gonna walk as slow as you've ever seen any NPC walk before to the next gate here. So what I found out to be quite effective, I'm gonna accidentally aggro right here and have to break. As you see there, Cormier uses incoming as soon as you take damage. So the idea I had, which works quite well on this run, is basically always have enemies in your aggro range of him, so he will basically permanently get a buff. As you see here, boom, incoming. He is now moving faster from incoming. You can always confirm that if he's getting the blue sparkles that you see coming off of him. That means he's being healed while moving. You don't have to kill everything. Like I said, you're basically going to want to make sure you keep an enemy constantly hitting you anyways. This is to basically keep incoming on cooldown going off. And it really saves a lot of time throughout the whole journey. However, you don't want him dying. Then you have to restart his walk. And that's just no good. Might fail the mission. I think you just have to restart the walk. I don't think it fails the mission. But anyways, as you see, I'm basically getting incoming on cooldown right now. Making sure I kill enough stuff to where I don't get overwhelmed with damage, but keeping one in range just to be sure that there's something to trigger the incoming. Yep, you can always check him, like I said, for the effect, see if he got it. Yeah, apparently he can get body blocked too, so be careful with this group here that he doesn't get stuck on them. And once he gets close enough up there, the cutscene will trigger, and you'll be good to go. So for this part, what I decided to do was skip as much as possible. Since most of the party has move speed anyways, I would just try to, break them. However, it proved a little difficult on this stairwell because the aggro bubble goes, of course, long ways over it. But I tried anyways. Depending on the spawn in the water, I feel like we could definitely break both of these groups if we just ran into the water. But this group that's in the water down there is really close to the stairs, so I decided to try to play it a little safe. And just go ahead and kill what was here. Normally I think you should just be able to run straight into the water, but this is the weirdest spawns I've ever seen. That group's really close to us in the water, like I said. And that group, if you look east there, is literally spawned on the boss, which I have actually never seen before. Yeah, we were going to break this enemy, but he casted Deathly Chill, or Swarmer, or whatever, and it chained to us and got his aggro. So I'm just like, okay, let's just kill this guy. So since the boss had the group, or the enemy spawned on the boss, I just had to pull the boss away. And there's the carving animation, the form change. That's the Paragon form right now. You want him to be in the Paragon form, basically. Derv is fine too, but Derv does a lot of damage. You do not want him getting Mesmer because it has Ether Feast. But anyway, so I have Hammer Bash here. When he changes, you try to hit him, and you get him locked in that animation. See, he almost did it, but it didn't quite, stick. So I built it up again, and I'm waiting. I did it basically instantly there, and it still didn't work. One thing I just noticed, I might have to wait a second after I KD him, flag everyone away so they don't hit him. I don't know. I'll have to play around with this on a different account to see how exactly to get it to work. You might just have to predict it. So you get the KD literally right when he uses it. Just get lucky or get very comfortable with when you know he's going to change. Maybe there's a strict set of time before he changes. I haven't looked into that. I could count on this video actually, if I wanted to. But yeah. Oh, this is also where I would save the imp for and use the imp. I just realized that. I popped the imp kind of close though, which you don't want to do that, because he could just die to the Derv pretty easily. But yeah, there's the mission. The Apocryph is a lot easier to deal with than it used to be, with the party being a little beefed up now. So I think you could totally do like closer to 50 minutes for all this. But since we have Beckner Harbor for Isle of the Dead now, we can just teleport there, load up a bunch of henchmen, and run to the objective. Which is why I said you basically lose no time glitching into Beckner Harbor. It basically saves time, because you'd have to run out here anyways, You just want a full-on running build for this. You don't really need any henchmen. I just bring them for the run in case something goes bad, maybe. You just basically run to the objective, trying to avoid as much as possible. The NPC at the end where we're running to, the enemies around them are fighting, but you can just talk to the NPC and do the dialogue and it triggers the quest. She doesn't seem to aggro any enemies, even though she's right in the middle. I've done this multiple times, and I've never seen her get aggro, so I don't think she can actually be in combat. So just run up and talk to her. There might be a chance that she might get hit by something, and then that would initiate it, but which is kind of why I bring the henchmen. but really, I've never seen it happen, so you should just be fine. And as soon as you talk to her, there's people fighting all around you, but just map back to Beckner Harbor. So there's the enemies. They will start fighting once you get close enough. And she's always just in the middle, minding her own business. Trigger that and map back to Beckner.